guys, tip of the day 13, Curtis here. So today we're going to expand on the pre-shot routine. It's very important, and as you can tell by a lot of my videos, I'm sure you notice I'm constantly saying pre-shot routine, pre-shot routine. So it's not just a term, it's an actual checklist that you need to create for your game. I'm going to show you mine. They're going to show you what I do exactly and the key check marks that I do. It's imperative that you come up with one. You can tweak it, but if it's not written down, you should be writing what I'm about to tell you down to where it's your pre-shot routine, so at least you have a chance to try and do it every time. It's very difficult on every shot. I don't do it every time. If you notice the pros, especially if you look at the snooker players, they're obsessive about it. And if you want to get some consistency in your game, you have to have a solid pre-shot routine. But the trick is, the only way you can do that is to write it down first, to understand what it is. Then you can start trying to work towards it. So here's what I do. I'd be more than happy to work with you about coming up. If you come see me at Tailgaters, we can go through a quick little checklist. Don't make it complicated. Keep it real simple, and you can expand on it. And maybe there can be other things, but I keep it real simple. And it's a couple of things I do every single time, and I'm going to show them to you right now. So on every shot, when it's my shot, or if I've just made a shot, let's just say, and now I'm shooting again, I always step out of what I call the shooting box. The shooting box, I just create a little imaginary circle, and the reason I do that is if I'm inside the shooting box, I should be down on the shot shooting. That's one of the reasons that the top players a lot of the time are using their own chalk holders, because they're not inside the box and it gets them out of rhythm. They make a shot, they step out. A lot of the snooker players have it in here. They're surveying the table. So when you're outside of the box, we talked about thinking versus concentrating. Well, this is exactly what they're doing. They are thinking so here's what I do. When I'm outside of the box, I have 3 things that I do while I'm deciding or thinking. So I'm chalking up. I decide what ball I want to shoot, where exactly, so I decide what ball and where exactly would I want the cue ball to be next. This is a key component that a lot of people don't. It's you pick a spot. So, for example, if I'm cutting this ball in and I got to get to the 8 next, where is ideal shape? Well, right around here, let's just say. Oftentimes it's near the middle of the table, very often. So pick a spot. Oftentimes it's somewhere in the middle of the table. We talked about that in a tip. So pick a spot. Number 2, so where do I want to be? So number 1 is which ball I'm shooting. Number 2, where I want to be after I've made that. And number 3 is how would I get there, meaning what spin would I put on the cue ball. So in this case, what I'm doing is I find a line. I made those 3 decisions. So I would like to cut that in the corner. I like to be right back around here, and I'm going to do this with just punch. So I'm just going to punch it out here. That's called stun, and here. I'm not going to put any right or left. I could do it with a little more of a follow with left, but I'm going to keep it real simple. And I step into the shot. Now that I'm down is the second part of it. And now it's just about 1, 2, through. Through is very important. If anything comes in my brain while I'm doing 1, 2, through, I got to step out and redo the process. That's the discipline part. So it's 1, 2, through. So I step in and I stay perfectly still. So 1, 2, and through. In that case, I'm a little short pace, not bad, but I stayed perfectly still, and that's a great practice tool while you're working on yourself, is stay still until the cue ball comes to a stop, so you can gauge how close you were to being in perfect shape. So it's just one more feedback that that can help you as well. So now I would step out of it, and as it was in one of our other tips, I'm shooting the 8-ball here. I still would like to not just rush into the 8-ball. I'm gonna go through my pre-shot routine. Just because there's not a cue ball or another ball to play shape on, I'm still going to go through my routine, which is, okay, I need to shoot the 8 in the corner. I'm gonna play some form of shape. You don't want it to be complicated. I like to play natural roll so that I learn from it. So if I were to put roll on top on this, where would I come? I would say somewhere in around here. So I'm going to pick a spot right here that I want to be. Okay, I find the line. I step into it, so I want to be, this is the spot where I pick. And then for me, I know that I'm in line. It's 1, 2, and through. So there, I'm staying perfectly still. Obviously, in that case, I hit it with a little, probably a little too much stun. If I had it a little more roll, it might have come along here, and my speed was a little off. But the key is, if I pick the spot, I just learned something. I got some feedback from it. So all these things work together. You're staying consistent, you're developing good habits, and you're learning on every shot. So that's my pre-shot routine. The most important thing, and please come see me at Tailgaters, and I will help you with this. But the most important thing is you should have a 3 or 4 step process, whatever works for you, written down on a piece of paper. If it's not written down, you're never gonna get as consistent as you think. It's a simple, it takes what, 5 minutes to do it. You come up, and then every time that you're playing, even if you're struggling, you can go back to that. But you gotta, in order to develop a pre-shot routine, you actually have to have one. And if you don't have it written down, it's probably not, you don't actually have one, okay? So that's tip of the day number 13. I'll be back tomorrow. And again, feel free to come see me, message me. I'm more than willing to help you guys develop a pre-shot routine that you can start working on today.